Buying your first caravan is exciting. You start imagining weekends away, long road trips, waking up beside the beach, exploring quiet country towns, and having the freedom to travel with your own little home behind you. But before you hand over your hard earned money, there are some things I really wish I had understood. Because when you're looking at caravans, it's very easy to get distracted by the things you can see. A beautiful kitchen, a comfortable bed, a big fridge, plenty of storage, a modern bathroom, solar panels, large batteries, maybe even an outdoor kitchen. And you start thinking, this is the one. But buying a caravan isn't just about finding one you like. It's about finding one that works with your tow vehicle, your budget, your travel plans, and the way you actually intend to use it. So, in this video, I'm sharing 7 things I wish I knew before buying my first caravan. And number 1 is probably the most important. Understand your weights before you buy. This is something that catches many first-time buyers out. You might find a caravan that looks perfect, and someone might tell you that your vehicle can tow it. But there are several different weight ratings you need to understand. There's the caravan's tar or empty weight, its ATM, GTM, and other relevant ratings. Then there are the ratings for your tow vehicle, including its towing capacity and GVM. And finally, there's the real world weight once you've loaded everything. Think about what you actually take traveling. Water, gas bottles, food, clothing, camping chairs, tools, batteries, solar equipment, kitchen equipment, and all those little accessories you collect over time, they all add weight. The caravan's advertised weight doesn't necessarily tell you what it will weigh when you're ready to travel. That's why you should look at the complete combination rather than one number. Your tow vehicle needs to be suitable for the caravan when it is actually loaded for travel. If you're unsure about the calculations, get professional advice before you buy. Spending a little money on expert advice could save you from making a very expensive mistake. The second thing I wish I knew is that bigger doesn't automatically mean better. When you're standing inside a large caravan, it's easy to fall in love with the extra space. A bigger bedroom sounds great, a larger bathroom sounds great, more storage sounds great, but bigger usually means heavier. It may require a larger tow vehicle. It can be harder to maneuver. It can be more difficult to fit into some campsites. And it can change the way your vehicle feels while towing. So, before you decide how big your caravan should be, think about how you're actually going to travel. Are you planning weekend trips, long holidays, extended travel around Australia, mostly caravan parks, free camping, sealed roads, remote destinations? Your answers should influence your decision. Don't buy a caravan based entirely on the biggest holiday you imagine taking one day. Think about the type of travel you'll realistically do again and again. The best caravan is the one that fits your lifestyle. The third thing I wish I knew is that the purchase price is only the beginning. This one surprises a lot of first-time owners. You might have a budget of $50,000 and find a caravan for exactly $50,000. It can feel like you've stayed within budget. But what happens next? Insurance, registration, servicing, maintenance, tyres, fuel, storage, caravan park fees, gas, batteries, power leads, water hoses, wheel chocks, leveling equipment, and all those accessories that seem cheap when you buy them individually. They can add up quickly. Your first year can be particularly expensive because you're not just buying a caravan. You're building your whole camping setup. You'll discover things you didn't know you needed. You'll see other caravanners using equipment that looks useful. And suddenly, your original budget has grown. That's why I recommend having 2 separate budgets. One for buying the caravan and another for your first year of ownership. Don't spend every dollar on the caravan itself and then discover you can't afford to actually travel, because a caravan sitting in your driveway isn't providing the lifestyle you bought it for. The whole point is to use it. The fourth thing I wish I knew is that your tow vehicle is just as important as your caravan. A caravan and tow vehicle are a combination. You shouldn't choose one without considering the other. Before you buy, check your vehicle manufacturer's specifications. Understand the towing capacity. Understand the relevant weight ratings. Understand your tow ball limits. And remember that the people and luggage inside your vehicle also contribute to its weight. Your family, bags, tools, and camping equipment all count. Don't just look at the caravan, look at the complete setup, because the right caravan with the wrong tow vehicle can quickly become a very expensive problem. Once you understand your weights, your budget, your travel style, and your tow vehicle limitations, choosing the right caravan becomes much easier. And that's where the next lessons become really important. The fifth thing I wish I knew before buying my first caravan is that a second-hand caravan can be an excellent choice, but you need to know what you're looking for. Buying used can save you a lot of money, but there's an important difference between buying a cheap caravan and buying a good value caravan. A caravan might look fantastic on the outside and still have problems you can't see. One of the biggest things to look for is water damage. Check around windows, doors, roof vents, and skylights. Look for stains, bubbling, soft areas, unusual smells, or anything that looks out of place. Open cupboards and inspect the corners. Look underneath sinks and around plumbing connections. If something doesn't look right, don't ignore it. Ask the seller questions. Has it ever leaked? When was it last serviced? Has it been stored under cover? Has any major work been carried out? Can they provide service records? The more information you have, the better. And if you aren't confident inspecting a caravan yourself, consider paying for a professional inspection before buying. That inspection may cost money, but it could save you thousands if it uncovers a serious problem. Don't forget the mechanical side either. Look at the tyres. Check the wheels, brakes, suspension, and chassis. Make sure you understand the caravan service history. A beautiful interior doesn't tell you what's happening underneath. The sixth thing I wish I knew is how important the layout really is. When you're walking through a caravan at a dealership, it's easy to focus on the exciting features. The television, the kitchen, the fridge, the lighting, the bathroom. But imagine actually living inside it. Can you comfortably move around? Can two people use the kitchen at the same time? Can you get into bed easily? Can you access the fridge without climbing over someone? Is there enough storage? Can you comfortably use the bathroom, open every cupboard, open every drawer, sit on the bed, stand in the shower, pretend you're preparing dinner? It might feel strange, but doing this can quickly reveal whether the layout actually works for you. Storage is particularly important. You may think you have plenty of cupboards until you start packing for a real trip. Clothing takes space. Food takes space. Cooking equipment takes space. Tools take space. Outdoor equipment takes space. And then there are all the small things you don't think about until you start traveling. Also remember that storage isn't just about how much space you have. It's about where that space is located. A huge cupboard isn't necessarily useful if you have to empty half of it just to reach something at the back. Easy access matters. Organization matters. And weight distribution matters. You don't want all your heavy equipment concentrated in one area, simply because that's where the biggest cupboard happens to be. Always follow the manufacturer's loading recommendations and stay within the relevant weight limits. The seventh thing I wish I knew is perhaps the hardest lesson of all. Don't be afraid to walk away. You can spend weeks searching for a caravan, then suddenly you find one that looks perfect. The layout is right, the price seems good, The seller seems friendly. You start imagining your first trip. And that's when emotion can take over. Maybe the seller says someone else is interested. Maybe you're told you need to make a decision today. Maybe you're worried that if you don't buy it now, you'll never find another one. Don't let that pressure make the decision for you. If the numbers don't work, walk away. If the caravan doesn't suit your tow vehicle, walk away. If you find significant damage, walk away. If something simply doesn't feel right, walk away. There will be another caravan. It might not be identical, it might not have the same color or accessories, but the goal isn't to buy a caravan as quickly as possible. The goal is to buy the right caravan. Take someone with you when you inspect one, if you can. A second set of eyes can notice things you miss, especially when you're excited, and don't let included accessories convince you to buy the wrong caravan. A seller might say, it comes with thousands of dollars worth of extras. That's nice. But accessories are secondary. You can buy accessories later. You can't easily change the fundamental weight, layout, or design of the caravan. Focus on the important things first. Condition, weights, towability, layout, budget, travel plans. Then worry about the gadgets. And once you've finally bought your caravan, the learning doesn't stop. In fact, that's when another important part of the journey begins. Your first few trips will teach you things that no brochure can explain. You'll learn what you actually need. You'll discover what you packed but never used. And you'll start finding out what really matters to you as a caravanner. That's where the next 3 lessons come in. The first thing I learned after buying my caravan is that you don't suddenly become an experienced caravaner just because you've bought one. There is a learning curve. You can watch videos, read manuals, and talk to experienced travelers, but eventually you have to get out there and practice. Your first trip should actually be treated as a learning trip. Don't make your first adventure a huge journey across Australia. Choose somewhere reasonably close to home. Stay for a couple of nights. Give yourself time to learn how the caravan behaves, how long it takes to set up, how much equipment you really need, and what you would do differently next time. You'll probably make mistakes. That's okay. You might forget something. You might take too much stuff. You might take longer than expected to reverse into your campsite. That's how you learn. Another thing I wish I knew was how quickly caravan accessories can add up. Once you've bought the caravan, it's very easy to start thinking you need every gadget available. Solar equipment, batteries, generators, outdoor kitchens, storage boxes, camping chairs, cooking equipment, leveling equipment. The list seems endless, but you don't need everything immediately. Start with the essentials. Take a few trips. Pay attention to the problems you actually experience. Then buy products that solve those problems. This can save you a lot of money and prevent your caravan from becoming overloaded with equipment you rarely use. It also brings us back to weight. Every accessory adds weight somewhere. A heavy toolbox, extra battery, generator, or storage box might seem harmless on its own, but add enough of these items together and they can make a significant difference to your caravan's loaded weight. Before adding major equipment, check how much it weighs and where you're going to store it. Make sure your overall setup remains within the manufacturer's specifications and relevant legal limits. Another lesson I wish I understood earlier is how important tyre care is. Don't just look at the tread and assume your caravan tyres are fine. Tyre, age, condition, inflation pressure, and loading all matter. Follow the recommendations from the caravan and tyre manufacturers. Inspect your tyres before every trip. Look for obvious damage, cracks, bulges, or anything unusual. And don't forget the spare tyre. It's easy to check the tyres that are on the ground and forget about the spare sitting underneath or in a storage compartment. You don't want to discover your spare is damaged or unusable when you actually need it. The same principle applies to your brakes, wheel bearings, suspension, and other running gear. Regular inspections and servicing can help you identify problems before they become expensive repairs. Something else I wish I knew is that caravans need maintenance even when they're sitting still. A caravan isn't maintenance free just because you're not traveling. Seals can deteriorate, batteries can discharge, tires can age, moisture can create problems, dust and dirt can build up. That's why it's important to check your caravan regularly, even if it's only being used occasionally. And one issue you really don't want to ignore is water. Water damage can become one of the most expensive problems a caravan owner faces. When buying secondhand, pay particular attention to windows, doors, roof vents, skylights, and other openings. Look for stains, look for soft areas, look for bubbling, look for damp or unusual smells. If you're not sure, get a professional inspection. Once you own the caravan, continue checking seals and roof areas regularly. Don't wait until you see water running down the wall before investigating. A small maintenance job today can potentially prevent a much larger repair later. Insurance is another area where I wish I had spent more time understanding the details. Don't automatically choose the cheapest policy. Read the product disclosure statement and understand what you're actually covered for. Look at things such as accidental damage, theft, storm damage, and your personal belongings. Understand any conditions around storage, security, and maintenance. Insurance is something you hope you never need, but if something goes wrong, you'll be glad you understood your policy. Then there are the everyday costs: fuel, registration, insurance, servicing, tires, camping fees, gas, maintenance, accessories. They can seem like small expenses individually, but they add up. This is why I recommend creating a realistic annual caravan budget before you buy. Don't just ask, can I afford the caravan? Ask, can I afford the caravan lifestyle? There's a big difference. You need enough money left over to actually travel. And the good news is that caravanning gives you plenty of flexibility. You don't have to stay at the most expensive caravan park every night. You can cook your own meals. You can explore free attractions. You can mix paid caravan parks with cheaper camping options where appropriate and permitted. You can choose shorter trips or longer adventures depending on your budget. The caravan gives you options. Use those options to create a travel style that works for you. And finally, I wish I understood that my first caravan didn't have to be my forever caravan. Your first caravan teaches you what you actually like. Maybe you'll discover you need more storage. Maybe you'll realize you don't need a huge bathroom. Maybe you'll discover that you love free camping. Or perhaps you'll realize you prefer comfortable caravan parks. Your needs can change as you gain experience. That's completely normal. Don't feel like you have to predict your entire caravanning future before buying your first van. Choose something that suits your current needs, your tow vehicle, and your realistic plans. Then get out there and learn. Because the best way to become a confident caravanner isn't by waiting until you know everything. It's by starting safely, taking your time, and learning from every trip. If there's one message I want you to remember from this entire video, it's this: don't rush your first caravan purchase. It's easy to get excited. You start imagining yourself traveling around Australia, sitting under the awning with a coffee, waking up beside the beach, and discovering places you've never seen before. But excitement can also make you overlook important details. Take your time. Do your research. Understand the numbers. And remember, walking away from the wrong caravan is always better than rushing into a purchase you later regret. Let's quickly recap the 7 things we've covered. Number 1, understand your weights before you buy. Don't simply look at the advertised weight of the caravan and assume everything is fine. Think about the complete combination: your tow vehicle, your caravan, passengers, luggage, water, gas, batteries, camping equipment, accessories. Everything needs to stay within the relevant manufacturer's specifications and legal limits. If you're unsure, get professional advice before you buy. Number two, bigger isn't always better. A large caravan might look fantastic at a dealership, but ask yourself how you're actually going to use it. Will you be traveling mostly on sealed roads, staying in caravan parks, doing weekend trips, going away for months at a time, planning to free camp? Your travel style should influence the size and type of caravan you choose. Number three, the purchase price is only the beginning. You need to budget for registration, insurance, servicing, maintenance, tyres, fuel, storage, camping fees, and accessories. The first year can be particularly expensive because you're building your complete camping setup. Leave money in your budget for those expenses. Number four, think about the complete towing combination. Don't choose the caravan first and assume you'll figure out the tow vehicle later. Check your vehicle's towing capacity and relevant weight ratings before you buy. Your caravan and tow vehicle need to work together. Number five, inspect a second-hand caravan carefully. Don't let a beautiful interior distract you from potential problems. Check for water damage. Look at the seals. Inspect the tyres. Look underneath. Ask for service records. Check the brakes, suspension, and running gear. And if you're not confident doing the inspection yourself, consider getting a qualified professional to inspect it. Number six, pay close attention to the layout. Don't just stand inside and admire it. Imagine living in it. Can you move around comfortably? Can you access the fridge? Is the kitchen practical? Is there enough storage? Can you comfortably use the bathroom? Think about how the caravan will feel after you've spent several days inside it. And number seven, don't be afraid to walk away. You don't have to buy the first caravan you like. You don't have to buy because the seller says someone else is interested. You don't have to buy because you've already spent hours inspecting it. And you certainly don't have to buy because you're worried you won't find another one. There will always be another caravan. Your job is to find the right one. And here's something else I think every first-time buyer should remember. You don't have to know everything before you start. You just need to make a sensible decision and give yourself permission to learn. Your first few trips will teach you things that no brochure can. You'll learn how much storage you really need. You'll discover which accessories are genuinely useful. You'll learn how much water you use. You'll become more comfortable towing and reversing. You'll develop your own campsite setup routine. And eventually, things that once seemed complicated will become normal. That's how confidence is built, one trip at a time. This is also why I recommend being careful when buying accessories. There are thousands of products designed to make caravan life easier. Some are genuinely useful. Others might simply add weight and cost. Before buying something, ask yourself 3 questions. Do I actually need it? Will I use it regularly? And does it solve a real problem? If the answer is yes, it might be worth buying. If you're not sure, wait. You can always buy it later. This is particularly important during your first year because your needs will change as you gain experience. Something that looks essential before your first trip might turn out to be something you never use. And when you do buy caravan products, don't automatically choose the cheapest option. Look at the specifications. Read reviews carefully. Make sure the product is suitable for your caravan and the conditions you'll be traveling in. For safety-related equipment, quality and suitability should always come before price. Your caravan is an investment, but the real value isn't sitting in your driveway. The real value is what you do with it. The weekends away, the road trips, the quiet mornings, the conversations around the campfire, the beaches, the mountains, the country towns, the people you meet, the memories you create. That's why choosing the right caravan matters. You want something that gives you confidence rather than something that creates constant stress. So before you buy your first caravan, slow down, work out your budget, check your tow vehicle, understand the weights, think about your travel plans, inspect the caravan carefully, test the layout, ask questions, and if something doesn't feel right, walk away. You don't need to become an expert overnight. You just need to make one good decision at a time. If you're currently looking for your first caravan, I'd love to know where you are in the process. Are you still researching? Have you started visiting dealerships? Are you looking at new caravans? Or are you thinking about buying secondhand? Leave a comment below and tell me what you're looking for. And if you've already owned a caravan for years, share the one thing you wish you had known before buying your first one. Your experience could help another first-time buyer avoid an expensive mistake. If this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Australian Caravanning for more practical caravan buying advice, towing tips, beginner guides, and real-world information to help you travel Australia with confidence. Remember, your first caravan doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be right for you. Take your time, do your research, buy within your means, and most importantly, get out there and enjoy the journey. Thanks so much for watching. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next Australian caravanning video.